Hey, what is happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you, and today I picked up a pair of the fire red Jordan 9s from my local Finish Line. The 9 isn't one of my favorite silhouettes, but I think this pair really look like it'll be easy to rock. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these fire red Jordan 9s. And real quick, before I get to that, I wanted to show you I got my Grinches on feet, the Adidas Form Grinches, but I'm also rocking my new Apothecary Roscoe Chicken and W socks. I got the 3-pack. They had 3 different colors, and honestly, these things are pretty dope. Like, they look really cool, but the quality is really good too. I'm definitely digging these things. All right, and before we get into this, I gotta take a second and say, if you missed out on the Cherry 11s, hit up your local store. I went and picked these up, and I saw that they had grade school pairs on the wall, and apparently they had like all grade school size pairs left. They had a 7 and a 6.5 grade school still sitting on the wall. And then I asked if they had any adult pairs because I didn't see them on the walls. They said they still have 5 or 6 adult size Cherry 11s sitting at my local Finish Line. So I would encourage you, don't pay resale. Don't spend $100 more than what you need to. They're expensive enough as it is. I may have grabbed another pair of them if they would have let me use coupons, but for some reason for that release, they wouldn't let you use coupons. So I didn't want to spend another $225 plus tax on a pair, but they are still sitting around. There were high numbers of those, so really get to your store and ask around if you struck out on. But now to the shoe that we're here to talk about. Comes in a pretty standard box. We see this kind of box for a bunch of different releases. Just a black lid, gray bottom. It's got the Air Jordan branding there on the lid, along with a red Jumpman. And the tag reads Air Jordan 9 Retro. The colors are white, fire red, and cool gray. And I'll tell you what, that sounds like a winning combination of colors to me. I got a size 10.5. I do typically go up a half size in 9s. They do fit a little bit snug for me. The retail price on these was $200. I used the $20 status rewards coupon, so all in I have right around $190 into them. And here they are, the fire red Jordan 9s. And I recently got the chili red, I think that's what they were called, just the ones that were bright red all over. And I made a review of them, but I think something happened to the file, and I don't know if I ever put it up on the channel or not. I think something went wrong with my video, and I sold them before I had the chance to get the video up. My feeling on the chili red pair was just that it wasn't really something that I could pull off. This is a pair of 9s that is wearable to me, and not all 9s are like that. I think a lot of times people say that these remind them of boots, and I can definitely see that, and I probably agree with that a lot of times. However, I think this pair looks clean. I think a lot like the Cherry 11s. I think this looks like a pair that could have existed before. It definitely has the style and the color combinations of something that we might have seen, you know, back in the day. But this is the first time that we've actually seen these color combinations. My favorite 11s are the cool gray 11s, so I really like this shade of gray, and I actually like the patent leather on these. Some people said that they would prefer it to be like suede or leather or whatever, but I kind of like this hit of patent leather on these. I think it looks really, really clean. I like the way that globe and the 23 really pop off the back. That fire red up against the cool gray. I think that's really nice and clean looking. I think overall these came out pretty well. I think they got a cool style to them. And I think that this patent leather being on the bottom, I think you could wear these right now and not really worry about it too much. And because it's got this white leather for the upper, I think that it would be pretty easy to wipe off, so you wouldn't have to worry about salt and that kind of stuff making them look ratty and old real quick. It's got a pretty plain looking outsole at first glance, but I guess it does have a lot of different languages and that sort of thing. And I guess with the 9, they went with this globalization of basketball theme, and you can see that throughout the shoe with the globe on the back, the different languages and that sort of thing. But it's definitely a unique looking outsole. There's not really any other Jordans that remind me of this. Like the 6 and 7 outsoles remind me of each other, and then even there's some things about the 11 and the 12 outsoles and that sort of thing that I think are reminiscent of each other. But this one kind of stands on its own. It's really unique. It's all in a bright white color here, and on the back we've got a fire red Jumpman really popping off of there. And then as you come up to the side of the shoe, you can see the white wrapping up from the outsole, especially there in the back. And again, we have a little fire red Jumpman jumping off. But then just above that in the midsole area, it's got this like coating. I don't think it's just painted. I think it's actually got like a cool gray coating on there. And it kind of gives it the same effect as the patent leather cool gray does there on the upper. But I like the way it just kind of merges into that upper material, and it really just flows pretty well. Like there's not a really extreme line from where the midsole ends and the base of the upper begins. I think that cool gray color is just really classy, especially against all that white. I think these look dope. But then sticking with that cool gray color, like I said, this reminds me a little bit of the patent leather that we have on the cool gray 11s, and all this stitching is that same shade of cool gray, but it has a nice feel to it. I would say that this is probably a pretty good quality patent leather. A lot of times patent leather can feel like it's kind of cheap and just really plasticky. This has a nice soft feel to it, so I do think that this material is pretty decent as far as patent leather goes. But you have that cool gray wrapping all the way around the shoe, and then on the back it comes up the whole way, and I think that back view is one of my favorite parts of 9s. And with these colors, I just think it looks really, really good. But then coming up from that patent leather, we have a smooth synthetic white leather, and it's just really, really smooth in most areas. As you come back the shoe, you do have these areas that have a little bit more texture, but it's not like it's tumbled or anything like that. It almost just looks like it was machined in there. I think it is perforations. I think there's just real tiny holes where we have all these designs. It's got little stitched borders going around there, and I think it gives it a neat look. Definitely clean looking. But really, you just have this synthetic feeling leather for this whole upper. It's not the worst feeling synthetic material that I've felt, but it's not really anything to brag about. I don't think this is a really outstanding material or anything, but I think it looks really, really nice. And then for the tongue, I never know how to explain this material. It almost feels like terry cloth or something, but it's just a really, really breathable and like stretchy material. And it's this white color. It will get dirty easily if you get dirt on it. That would probably be hard to keep clean. But it's, if you've had a 9 before, you know what I'm talking about. But it almost feels like terry cloth. And that's in a white color. And we've got all these nice little fire red accents going up for the lacing system. And I like the way that pops. It looks like we got some cool gray rope style laces that came in the shoe. It didn't come with any extras. And that goes along with this cool gray accent here at the top of the tongue. And you can see that it's got some Jordan branding there in fire red. Looks really nice. I really like that embroidered 23 on the back. Just another area where that fire red pops off a cool gray. And I've always thought that little globe was a neat accent on the back of 9s. It also has this fire red heel tab, and there you can see too, it's almost got like a inner sock, almost like a Huarache or something like that, but they really do secure to your feet pretty snug. So like I said in the beginning, I would go a half size up if you don't like your shoes really, really tight. The sock liner is all cool gray, and I think the insole is white with a fire red Jumpman down on there. But that was a pretty quick look at these. Let me know what you all think of these. If I couldn't have used a coupon, I may not have picked these up, but I think getting that $20 off definitely made it worth picking up and adding to the collection here for a little bit. I don't know if I'll keep these forever, but I think as far as 9s go, I think this is very, very wearable for my kind of style, and I think they came out pretty well. But let me know what you think about them, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.